Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. After a little break, we're diving headfirst into everything surrounding your New England Patriots. There's a new chapter being written in Foxborough, and honestly, it feels like we're right at the edge of something big, or something historic for a totally different reason. Either way, the vibe is electric and a little unpredictable. This feels like a turning point not just for the team, but for the entire Boston sports scene, with everything that's happened over the past few years. You can't help but ask, are we witnessing the beginning of a new dynasty or the start of some dark days for Boston sports fans? Let's be real for a second. The past 3 years haven't exactly been the golden era for the Patriots. After 2 decades of total dominance, it's been a rough and humbling stretch. If we rewind the clock to the 1970s, 80s, and even early 90s, Patriots fans know what suffering looks like. The team was irrelevant for so long until things started turning around with Drew Bledsoe and Bill Parcells in the mid-90s, setting the table for the Brady-Belichick era that followed. And what an era that was. Dominance, rings, and an identity built on winning. But since 2020, when everything from COVID to Tom Brady's departure hit at once, the Patriots have struggled to find their footing. Now, here we are in 2025, staring at a completely new landscape, and it's not just the Patriots. Let's talk about the broader Boston sports scene for a second. It's been a brutal stretch for the city's sports fans across the board. Jason Tatum just tore his Achilles after leading the Celtics to an NBA championship. That's right, Boston finally got another basketball title. And before anyone could really celebrate a dynasty in the making, their franchise cornerstone goes down with a devastating injury. No clear timetable for his return. Then you've got the Red Sox, who pulled off another classic Boston heartbreak move, trading away Rafael Devers to a West Coast team. Sound familiar? Of course it does. It feels like deja vu of the Mookie Betts situation. And let's not forget Brad Marchand, the heart and soul of the Bruins, getting shipped off to the Florida Panthers of all teams and then helping them win a Stanley Cup. You can't make this stuff up. So yeah, this is where Boston sports fans are right now, searching for a new hero, hoping someone steps up to fill that void. And suddenly, all eyes turn to Foxborough. All eyes turn to one man, Drake May, the number 3 overall pick. The guy people are starting to call the future face of Boston sports. And just a quick shout-out congratulations to Drake May on getting married recently just outside Boston. Off the field, he's already making big life moves. On the field, though, this is where things get interesting. This is where legacies start, or where careers get swallowed up by pressure and expectation. Boston fans don't just love winners, they demand them. They embrace athletes who not only deliver on the field, but also say the right things off it, carry themselves with confidence, and lean into the pressure rather than run from it. That's why guys like Jason Tatum became beloved, because he won. That's why Rafael Devers, even with all his flaws in the field, was adored. He crushed the ball and gave Sox fans hope. Brad Marchand, love him or hate him, he embraced being the villain, scored huge goals, and led the Bruins to glory in 2011. Boston rallies behind those types of athletes, and now Drake May gets his shot to be that guy for the Patriots. But let's not kid ourselves. It's not going to be easy. The Patriots have been anything but consistent over the past few seasons. There's been turnover at quarterback, questions about the coaching staff, and major holes on both sides of the ball. But here's the twist. For the first time in a while, there's legitimate hope that this team might actually surprise people. And that's thanks in large part to new head coach Mike Vrabel. The former Patriots linebacker has brought some serious intensity and leadership back into the building. For the first time since the Brady-Belichick breakup, there's a feeling that the Patriots are re-establishing their identity, a gritty, tough, no-nonsense football team that could sneak into the playoff conversation if things break right. It's kind of crazy to think about, but while the Celtics, Bruins, and Red Sox all seem to be in various stages of teardown or transition, the Patriots might suddenly become the most stable team in Boston sports. Imagine saying that out loud 2 years ago, but here we are. New quarterback, new coach, new energy, and maybe, just maybe, a team that could become fun again. If you're a Patriots fan, now is the time to pay attention. This feels like getting in on the ground floor of something potentially special. And speaking of looking back while looking forward, let's shift gears for a second and talk about that ESPN quarter-century team that just dropped. ESPN put together a full 53-man roster covering the best NFL players from the year 2000 through 2025. That's 25 years of football. And obviously, With 6 Super Bowl titles in that span, you'd expect the Patriots to have a heavy presence on the list. And for the most part, they do. Starting with the obvious. Tom Brady, no-brainer. The greatest quarterback of all time. Lock him in. At tight end, it's Rob Gronkowski again. No surprises there. Gronk was a game changer. ESPN went position by position, naming starters and backups, basically building an all-star roster. At wide receiver, they included Randy Moss, which makes perfect sense. Even though Moss wasn't in New England for long, his 2007 season alone was legendary. Nose tackle, Vince Wilfork, another pillar of those dominant Patriots defenses. In the secondary, you've got Darrelle Revis representing the Patriots. Yes, his time in Foxborough was brief, but let's not forget he helped secure that Super Bowl win against the Seahawks. Then, one of the biggest and most well-deserved nods went to Matthew Slater. If you're talking about special teams' impact over the last 25 years, there's no one more respected across the league than Slater. His leadership and consistency have been second to none. And of course, at head coach, Bill Belichick. Who else? 6 championships, multiple Coach of the Year awards. Revolutionized the way the game is played and coached. Love him or hate him, you can't deny his spot on this list. Overall, the ESPN list feels like a fair reflection of the past quarter century of football dominance. They got the obvious names right: Brady, Gronk, Moss, Wilfork, Revis, Slater, Belichick. But of course, no list is without controversy. There are definitely some Patriots fans raising eyebrows at a few omissions. One of the biggest talking points: Julian Edelman. How do you leave off a Super Bowl MVP? A guy who was Tom Brady's security blanket for almost a decade. Time and time again, Edelman showed up when it mattered most. Huge catches in playoff games, clutch moments in Super Bowls. The catch against Atlanta in Super Bowl 51 alone should get him a lifetime pass onto any all-time team. But when you take a closer look at the wide receiver list ESPN put together, it's stacked. We're talking Randy Moss, Calvin Johnson, Julio Jones, Terrell Owens, Marvin Harrison, Justin Jefferson, Antonio Brown, and Andre Johnson, even Cooper Kupp didn't make the cut. That's how deep this pool of talent is. As much as it stings for Patriots fans, it's hard to argue that Edelman statistically belongs ahead of any of those guys still. For heart, grit, and big moment impact, Edelman's legacy in New England is untouchable. Another snub that's been a hot topic: Adam Vinatieri, the man who kicked some of the most iconic field goals in NFL history. Snow Bowl against the Raiders, game winners into Super Bowls. For a franchise built on clutch moments, Vinatieri delivered time and time again, so why didn't he make the ESPN list? Well, that spot went to Justin Tucker, if we're being fair. From a pure talent and numbers standpoint, it's hard to argue against Tucker. The guy has been automatic for over a decade, holds records for accuracy and distance. His 66-yard game winner, unbelievable. But when you're talking about legacy, rings, and clutch performances, Vinatieri's resume speaks for itself. Honestly, I think there's a strong case that ESPN got this one wrong. Some people also felt like Stephen Gostkowski deserved a look too, considering his consistency and contributions to 3 Super Bowl titles with the Patriots. But again, when you're only picking one kicker for a 25-year all-time team, the competition is fierce. All right, circling back to the present-day Patriots, let's talk about what's going on with the offensive line. It's been one of the most talked about positions this offseason, and for good reason. After signing veteran Morgan Moses and drafting Will Campbell, you'd think the Patriots would feel set at tackle, but nope, the conversation continues. One reason: the Patriots were reportedly in on free agent tackle Rob Havenstein from the Rams, but that didn't pan out, and now we're learning why. Havenstein recently signed a massive 3-year, $57 million extension with Los Angeles. But the troubling part is that he's now dealing with blood clot issues, the same kind of health concern that forced David Andrews to miss significant time, and even ended the career of other NFL players. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. It appears there's a growing buzz around sports broadcasting circles regarding Joe Buck's commentary on the New England Patriots. Whispers suggest that the veteran play-by-play announcer has been noticeably critical of the team's recent performances. leading to murmurs of discontent among some Patriots fans and even within the NFL media landscape. Sources close to the situation indicate that Buck's critiques have focused on various aspects, from the team's offensive struggles and quarterback play to coaching decisions and overall team discipline. While Buck is known for his candid commentary, some observers believe his recent assessments of the Patriots have carried a more pointed tone than usual. This rumored shift in Buck's commentary could be a reflection of the Patriots' post-Brady era challenges as the team navigates a rebuilding phase. Their on-field product has undoubtedly provided ample material for analysis, both positive and negative. It's plausible that Buck, like many analysts, is simply reacting to what he sees, offering an unvarnished perspective on a team that has historically been held to a very high standard. However, the speculation also raises questions about potential underlying narratives. Could there be a growing frustration among broadcasters with the Patriots' current trajectory? Or is this simply Buck exercising his journalistic prerogative to call the game as he sees it, regardless of team loyalties or fan sentiment? Ultimately, while these remain unconfirmed whispers, the notion of Joe Buck's heightened criticism of the Patriots is certainly a topic sparking conversation. It will be interesting to see if this perceived trend continues and how it might influence the broader discussion surrounding one of the NFL's most storied franchises. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.